Main Street is collapsing. Restaurants are gone, shops are empty, and small business bankruptcies are surging once again. I ran a poll asking if people still shop at small businesses, and the shocking truth is you said 42% try to support local when they can. 27 said, I want to, but it's too expensive. 20% or 19 said, big chains are just easier. And 11% said most small businesses are already gone. This is the truth of 2025 bankruptcy disasters. And the numbers just don't lie. And I'm here in one of these shopping malls, and commercial bankruptcies are up 7% year over year. Subchapter V filings, this is for small businesses, is up 35%. This is the highest level since COVID, but this is time. This time, there's no pandemic to blame, just policies, prices, and pressure. People don't have the money, they cannot afford it. And so what happens? It just can't. What happens? People go out of business, they close it down because pressure is just too much. So Hooters filed for bankruptcy. On the border, restaurant chain closing 77 locations. And if billion-dollar brands can't keep afloat, how are small businesses supposed to stay afloat? Rent in one of these places, insanely high. So you're looking at it, all these places, big box stores like Five Below and Claire's, H&R Block, and Bath and Body Works. All these stores, big name retailer, and they're struggling. And so what does that mean? That means small businesses are even struggling even more. So I got a few videos here. I'm going to show you on how farmers market used to be affordable, and all of a sudden these farmers markets not affordable, and people can't shop at farmers markets because a loaf of bread is $15. So let's look at this clip and we'll talk about it.
So I'm at the farmer's market. When did it become so expensive to shop at farmers markets? I seem to remember getting a grip of produce for like 20 bucks years ago. Now it's just an excuse for yuppies to spend oodles of money. $3 for a bunch of green onions, $10 for a dozen eggs. Insane. But I did buy a $19 pizza, so.
How's it going? Good, good. How about yourself? You don't happen to have the jalapeno cheddar?
There you go.
Yeah. I'll try to get one of those.
Got it. Is that what you got last?
No, I didn't. You were in that. I wanted one, but you were in out.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I came back. See, now that you're here.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you make these all yourself?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
15 your total. You can talk.
Alrighty.
I think that's the last one.
Yeah, that's good.
Here you go. Do you
Thanks
want
for.
a receipt?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
You have a good one.
You too. Bye. What can I
Okay.
get
Can
for
I get
you?
a classic lemonade?
You got it.
All right, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Hi.
Got her lemonade. Ah, that's good. Can't go wrong with a classic lemonade.
So you saw it, $15 for a loaf of cheddar bread, and lemonade like $8 at the farmer's market. So right there, $25 almost in just two items. It has just gotten to where prices are insane, but small business owners need a charge tag to stay afloat. Yup, they do, because they don't have billion-dollar backings. And we're going to watch another person actually showcasing their checking account, telling us how hard it is to kind of stay afloat in this brutal economy in 2025. Hey, just real quick, if you like topics like this and you want to stay on top of trends, please give my channel a like and a follow. That would really help me out. And let's continue on with the video.
Sunny here, owner of Kaisen Sushi. It's 11:46 in the evening on Tuesday on my off day. I just finished payroll that costed $8,321 for last week. I pay my guys every week before Friday, no matter what. I just paid a bunch of bills, and this photo you're seeing on this screen is what my bank accounts look like right now. I made payroll. I paid about $3,500 in bills so far, and there's another $1,700 that's still going to get drawn tomorrow. So my actual business account's probably going to be around $1,700. I still have probably $400 worth of wasabi to pay for before the end of the week, and still have to buy produce for the week. I have to buy some more sushi trays, and I have to make an emergency order for custom bags from China before the end of the week. Now, a little bit more money is kind of going to trickle in, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 more dollars before Thursday. And this is what it's like to have a successful new ghost kitchen restaurant with the concept that we're running. There's probably going to be some trolls who say you're just not charging enough, or blah, 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 blah. Or some people will rightly say you're not charging enough, or whatever. Right now, my motivations and my priorities are just to get new customers in the door. And the hope is that at least 30 to 40% of them become lifelong customers in the long run. So yeah, this is what it's like. And the numbers are always scary every week. It's only been 11 days so far for this month, and we're actually doing pretty good, because normally by the end of today or after payroll, I'm left with literally hundreds, maybe only like $800 or $900 left in the bank account. Now, and to be honest with you, I have no problem fully disclosing my numbers, because there are so many restaurants in Houston that are completely full of shit, and I hate watching them just put up this ridiculous front and take up air and space that could be filled by better restaurants and better food and better people. Honestly, this industry is full of really bad people. But if I'm being 100% honest with you, the only reason I am scared to show screenshots of my bank account is because it's really hard to date when you show people exactly what your bank account looks like. And the size of my bank account matters to the people I've been trying to go on dates with. Anyways, the bills got paid this week. We're going to have a great week. Thanks to all of your support. And I'm going to try to get some sleep now. And yeah, do it all over again tomorrow.
What an amazing person to actually show us the true feeling how it is to be an entrepreneur. It is literally rough. When I say you can still make it and you have to take risk, you have to leverage yourself, this is what I'm talking about. And he's like, hey, I can't date. I can't find a partner because I'm transparent of what I do, how I do it. He's probably not even putting himself on payroll. It's just his employees. I've been there. And then all of a sudden, it's like, ooh, it's looking a little dicey. And so don't be ashamed. If you're doing the right process, if you have the right people, if you put customers first, money will come. I will guarantee. You just have to rinse and repeat. And what you got to do is you are not allowed to give up as an entrepreneur. You're going to get punched in the face and you're going to get kicked in the jaw. And what do? You get back up. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to lose money sometimes. And then over time, you will be doing fine. And then all of a sudden, you will have fun. You'll open up another restaurant, another one or two. And all of a sudden, you're like, man, this is really working out for me. And then all of a sudden, you're in your 40s and you're in your 50s and you got 4 or 5 locations. And you say, you know what, it's time to exit. Let me exit this. And boom, there you go, $1 million deal. And you're done. And then you're going to be looking around, and people that are working 9 to 5s and didn't take on any risk are going to say, there's no upwards mobility inside the United States. No, you didn't take the risk, so don't reap the rewards, right? And 42% of people said they want to support local businesses, but can't. Prices are just too high. That's not a lack of loyalty, that is exhaustion. When consumers are broke, small businesses die first. Because, like I said, you got to go to Home Depot if your water heater runs out, right? You're not going to go to your local plumber. You got to try to do it yourself. You're going to go to Walmart. You're going to go to other stuff. Just trying to stay afloat. You can't win when your consumers are drowning in credit card debt. People aren't abandoning small businesses. They're being priced out of the community. This is reality, and it is shocking when your customers are not able to pay their bills and they're supposed to come in, buy sushi from you, buy that $15 loaf of bread, but they can't because it's just too expensive and they cannot do it. It is absolutely insanity. And we're coming up to a store here. This used to be Big Lots. They went out of business. They had a going out of business sale. And now the building is just sitting empty. And this is $1 billion business. This is not just some mom and pop shop. No, this has been Big Lots. And if you haven't followed me for a long time now, I've been telling you guys, Big Lots, I made a poll if people still shop there. People used to love Big Lots. There was the sign, and now it's gone. They closed it down, and it even still has. Let's look at it. Here we go. You can still see. Let's see it. What it says. Big Lots right there. Welcome to Big Lots. That is now done. This is another thing where private equity made it worse. Private equity owns everything now, from coffee beans to your local gym. They buy, cut costs, load businesses with debt, cash out before it collapses. And you've seen it with Caesar Palace in Las Vegas. They do a creative financing. They say, you know what, we're gonna load the company up with debt. We'll sell the real estate, cash out, get all our money back, and then we load it up with debt. And then we're gonna make it so you can't do remodels. You gotta increase prices everywhere. And that is how Vegas and the United States is going to die, when private equity gonna take over everything. That's why you see so many chains closing. They were never meant to last. They were built to extract, and then you kick all the people out, and you say, you know what, we are done. When businesses exist to please investors, not customers, the soul of the economy dies, and I truly, truly feel it. And this is one of my biggest problems with venture capitals, with seed funding rounds and everything else. You gotta keep your main customers happy. You gotta please your customers, not shareholders, and all of a sudden you got a real flourishing business. But the domino effect sets in. When small business shops close and the barber next door loses walk-ins, the cafe down the street uses regulars, then the local newspaper loses advertisers. That's not just bankruptcy, that's a culture delay. That's a culture decay. Main Street dies, your neighborhood follows. And so what do you see? Homeless people increasing, crime going up, business owners don't want to invest no more, and then all of a sudden you see empty parking lots. That's what the collapse looks like. Not a stock market crash, but a quiet block of empty stores. And this is why it all matters. We got to bring the conversations to the politicians and say, you need to worry about small businesses, not the people that are funding your pockets. Because if you're going to keep going down that route, you're going to have nothing but a few stores left. The cost of borrowing, taxes, red tapes make it impossible to start and grow. And this is some of the problems that I faced with when you have bureaucracy that just kills any momentum. Bureaucracy in the US is just so insane. The sheets that they got, that you got to submit this, you got to submit that. You submit this to the building department, code enforcement, here code, here, here. And all of a sudden, you're just dealing with paperwork and nothing gets done. And this is reality for so many people. And this is why people don't want to invest and are like, I'd rather just stick to my 9-to-5, or you know what, it's not worth it. Let me just figure out alternatives and just kind of live off unemployment, get the SNAP benefits, and all of a sudden you have a drain on the system. It is absolutely crazy. And I've seen these innovators, I've seen these entrepreneurs trying to make it, talking about, I want to open up a business, but it's just not feasible. Customers do not have the money, they can't pay. And then once the customer comes in, you're trying to nickel and dime him because your lifeline is based off of it, and you gotta make money at the end of the day. And this is one of my biggest problems. When you open up a shop and you're like, man, I gotta get paid too, because it wouldn't be worth it for me if I wouldn't get a paycheck. So you have these fees, and sometimes I can't even blame these store owners, because you gotta make a profit, a rainy day fund, and you gotta pay your bills too. Because I tell you right now, your employees, they don't give a shit. They say, you know what, if I can't work at Big Lots, I'm gonna go to Home Goods next door. But if you're a small business owner and you own that place, and you're like, so now what do I do? Because I'm probably in trouble now. My credit's ruined, and you gotta go figure something else out. And this is the reality. And I did the poll, and it said 42% are like, try, but I can't really do it. And so what do? They transition to Walmart, Home Goods, and all these other big box stores till there's only one game in town, and then you got to deal with the devil when you only have one option left. But that was all by design. They tried to just squeeze everybody else out, and all of a sudden you're like, whew, it's not looking so good after all. And this is what I've been telling you guys. Make sure you vote with your dollar. Where you spend your money is everything. If you give it to credit card companies, you give it to a nuisance, you give it to influencers, you buy their $8,000 course, and then all of a sudden you haven't even invested $1 into actually doing anything, you're going to be doomed to fail. Try to start it. Try to start something on your own. Flip lawnmowers, flip cars, go on Facebook Marketplace, flip tools, and see if you can do some tweaks, clean it up, and make some money on the side. If you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, if you're in blue collar, you can always offer your services through Yelp pages, through some other stuff, and make a few $100s extra every week or every month to fund your lifestyle, to kind of fund your hobbies, because it's expensive now and costs are just keep going up. And yeah, there's going to be more empty places like this coming if they can't find a way how to bring costs down, because grocery prices are up. And you've seen it, farmers market, $15 for a loaf of bread is insane. And yeah, how do they do it? Because the farmers market person probably needs to pay rent to that place, because you had to get a city permit, you had to pay the fees. And so what do they say? Oh, in order to get that permit, you need to hire security, you got to have bathrooms, you got to have this, you got to have that, and all of a sudden you got to have insurance too, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I got to charge double in rent because insurance, everything else went up. And so then they have to charge you $15. And it's not because they want to, it's not that they say, you know what, I'm just going to price gouge my customers. They probably don't want to do that, but the cost of doing business got so expensive. And that is how it's going. People are just strapped with cash, they can't do it. And then all of a sudden we're wondering, like, how did we end up here? Yeah, we should have never ever let these venture capital and these private equity funds come in and sweep us dry. And then all of a sudden you see places, Big Lots, and you see other places just dried up, empty. And this is how it's going in the US. We're seeing parking lots empty. This should be prime time for Home Depot. I'm out here early in the morning and it is literally empty. This is not full at all. And yeah, this is what we're seeing. People are pulling back. People say, I don't want to spend money right now. It's so uncertain. I'm not going to do a remodel. I'm not going to buy flooring. And you see over there at the lumber yard, there's not that many cars. I've been here 6, 7, 8 months ago, and they were packed. They had a line out the door waiting for people to load cars up and load stuff. And you can see now, this is like literally dead inside. And yeah, this is how the economy's going. People are like, I can't afford that. I don't want to afford it. And you got to make sure, what am I going to pay for this month? Am I going to pay my water bill? Am I going to pay rent? Or am I going to put in a new water heater? And these are the questions that people are having. And then they're like, whew, no. But then I always see in my comments, they're like, oh, some people are doing great. And this is an area actually where people are supposed to have money. Centennial Hills, when you look on Zillow and you look at the price of houses, is $800,000, $900,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes. And all of a sudden, you're like, man, these people should have money, technically, right? But if the economy's drowning, then all of a sudden, these people are also like, ooh, can't do it. And so then it's like, ooh, where do we go? If rich people or wealthy people or upper middle class people are pulling back, then we see it across the whole economy, right? So yeah, this is how it goes. It's just dire situation for everybody. And I remember like a year or so ago, I went to Salinas in California. I drove from Las Vegas to Santa Cruz, and Salinas was on the way. And so we stopped because there's a pop-up food restaurant and at a mall. And I was like, ooh, let's go stop there. They're having this pop-up. And I seen a line out the door, and there was for Foot Locker. They got new Jordans or something. They dropped new Jordans, and it was a line out the door. People are standing there overnight. And all of a sudden, you see sneakers, resales, not doing so good after all. You see that Jersey Mike's got acquired by private capital, and all of a sudden you see videos online circulating that, oh my gosh, sandwich sizes are getting smaller. They're trying to squeeze some stuff out of it. Yup, that is what is happening once you make a deal with the devil, and you gotta make profit. You gotta bring it home. And this is why you see In-N-Out. If you've ever been to In-N-Out, you see lines out the door, and they're not owned by venture capital. They're privately owned. They don't report to shareholders. That's why when you go there and the hamburger's $3-4 or $3.48, what it is in my area, all of a sudden that's doable for people. They like it. The quality is pretty decent, so that's where they go. They can't go to McDonald's where it's $6-7, and the dollar meal is not even doable anymore because that is too expensive. And so they go to In-N-Out, and yeah, then they're done. So yeah, this is how it is going. But yeah, I'm telling you, the situation for so many Americans, brutal. And for these people that are asking me, why are you wearing glasses all the time? What about your Oakleys and everything? I have prescriptions, so let's check this out. I don't know if you can see this on my video, but my left lens is huge. So either I wear normal glasses or wear sunglasses. And since it's bright out most of the time, I wear sunglasses. And yeah, that is why I wear sunglasses. So yeah, it's not because I wanted to. And the funny part about that is I checked out to do LASIK in one eye because my right eye is actually good. I don't hardly need anything. And whenever I went to these optometrists, all of them wear glasses. And none of these optometrists did LASIK. So then I always ask them, why haven't you done LASIK? And then they're like, and they can't really explain why they haven't done LASIK. And so you're like, you're telling me I should do LASIK, but you haven't done it? Seems like there's some catch. And so I've never done it. I'm like, if I'm gonna go to somebody and talk to them and they recommend me something, I hope that these people would have done it. And it's like, nah, that's like going to a weight loss coach that's overweight. It's just like, dude, come on. Really? You should be fit and in shape so you know what it is. Preferably, you should have been overweight and now you're really buff and working out and doing all this kind of other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's a transformation I want. But when you go in there and they're still doing it, like, nah, not me, stick to glasses. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next